Am I the jerk for breaking my promise and ruining my kids' relationship with their dad? I have 2 kids, 18 female and 15 male, with my ex-husband, 46 male. We got divorced over 10 years ago after I found out he was cheating and got his mistress pregnant. This so profoundly hurt me. It took me a long time to put myself together again. After our divorce was finalized, he got married to his mistress. They have 2 daughters, 10 and 7. Despite him being opposed to me, he was and still is a great father to our kids, and to not potentially ruin their relationship, I agreed not to tell them about the affair after he begged me not to say anything and that he would tell them when the time is right. We share 50-50 custody, though since they are older, they now decide when they go where and for how long. I have been as civil as I could with the situation for our kids' well-being, and put clear boundaries in place, like there's no way on earth I would babysit their kids after they asked me once. 2 years after the divorce I started dating a woman 43 female, we're now married. Ex told me he felt like I never loved him since it turns out I'm into women, even though I told him I'm bi. The kids love her. She shares some interests with both of the kids, and we all do our annual Star Wars marathon on winter break. Back in January, I started to feel like they were pulling away from us. At first I thought it was nothing, just kids being kids, but then they began to spend less and less time with us and more with their dad. I was a bit jealous, I'll admit, but I was also getting worried because they were not communicating with me at all, and when they did speak to me, they were just snapping at my wife or at me, rolling their eyes, etc. It was clear they were mad at us. So in mid-April, when my wife was out of the house, I sat them down and asked them what was going on and if they were okay. My daughter got really mad at me and started yelling that she was not okay because I led their dad on. I lied to him, I hurt him, and how could I be such a monster to play with a good man's heart? And she stormed off to the room. I was perplexed, so I asked my son, who was quite what her sister meant. He said their dad told them that we got divorced after I came out and that I told him marrying him was the biggest mistake of my life. He started crying and asking why I would do and say such things and that I didn't just hurt their father but them and our family. Needless to say, I was furious. I told him to come with me, and we went to his sister's room. I knocked on her door and begged her to let me in and let me say something, and she eventually opened the door. We sat on her bed and told them that what their father said was not true. She tried to argue, but I stopped her and asked her to let me talk. I asked them to think a bit and do some math regarding their sister's birthday. They didn't get it, so I asked them her birth date. They told me, and I tell them that 6 months prior, we'd been in Disneyland having the time our lives. They said they remember, so I asked them when did their father move out? About a month after that trip. And when was their sister born? About 5 months after. They started to get it, and my daughter asked me if I was implying their father cheated on me. I said yes. She then grabbed her phone and called her aunt, ex's sister, and asked her if it was confirmed her dad cheated on her. She had to beg her for an answer, and her aunt finally said yes. She called other family members to approve. They both apologized to me and to my wife when she came home for how they had been treating us. They went to their dad's the following day and called us to ask if they could move all the things they had there to our house. Soon I had my ex on my door, yelling that I broke my promise and that I sabotaged his relationship with our kids. He didn't leave until I called the police. Our kids have since gone low contact with him and his wife. They only go over there to pick up their sisters to hang out with them. My daughter disinvited them from her graduation. My son is no longer going on the boys' camping trip with his dad, his 2 brothers, and his cousins. I've been getting texts and calls and voicemails from him and his family calling me an off for ruining their relationship. And I've been starting to feel guilty because he is a good dad, and I did break my promise. My wife says he crossed the line first. Am I the a-hole?